All right. Okay. So, Mitesh, I think if you are contesting for this is the first time that you will be playing the role of a contest official. We have various roles in the contest. I'm going to list down all those roles. And while I'll be taking more questions, I will not directly probably answer this question right now for you because everybody will have similar sort of, questions or queries. On the way, I'm sure once I start explaining and we start getting into the conversation of each role, you will understand, and then please feel free to ask more questions that you have. Okay, so initially, just to start off, in a typical contest you have a timer. You have two timers that you require two ballot counters, minimum two ballot counters. Okay, when it goes up to, if the judges are more, if you have 10, 11, 12 judges per se, let's take an example, at a district conferences you will have more judges, at division conferences you can go up till 3 or 4 ballot counters as well. You need minimum one chief sergeant at arms, and I would say two sergeant at arms. That means a team of three. So the chief sergeant at arms will be responsible for the uh, entire room, the main hall, while the other two, one of them can maintain the breakout area since you have an evaluation speech contest. So one will be responsible to man the breakout room, and the other one will be in the main room along with the chief sergeant at arms to coordinate between the chief sergeant at arms and the other sergeant at arms which is there in the room. Then you have a contest chair who is responsible for the smooth functioning of the contest. The contest chair will be responsible to brief the contestants, even getting the test speaker for the evaluation speech contest. And then we have a chief judge who is basically the main officer along with contest chair, who is responsible for getting all the voting judges plus the tie breaking judges, and plus looking out or briefing all the role players of the contest, which includes your timers and your tally counters. Okay, so this is like an overview of the contest. If I have missed out, Arvind, Sunita, please feel free to add on to it if I've missed out on any important role player of the contest.
It's not the role player,
Role
Sapna.
players, the
We should
roles.
please mention that it's only the evaluation contest. It's not an evaluation speech contest like many of us have been saying it over the years. If you
Mhm.
look at the ballot sheet, it only says evaluation contest ballot. It does not say evaluation speech ballot, like unlike the humorous speech or the international speech, the word speech is not to be mentioned because it's only an evaluation contest. So going forward, members here may pass it along saying we may address or we may only speak of EC, that's the evaluation contest, and not ESC. There's no S there. It's only the evaluation contest.
Thank you for that, Arvind. All right, let's take the next question. Dhruv had raised. Yeah, go ahead, Dhruv.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is we know that we judges has to be anonymous, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for example, let me take an example. My club is Jaipur Toastmaster Club,
Mm-hmm.
and I am a chief judge for Pink City Toastmaster Club, another Toastmaster club,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone is participating in the evaluation contest. So
Mm-hmm.
judges need to be from the other clubs.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, I am bringing judges from my club, other clubs,
Mm-hmm.
and they're coming to the contest
Mm-hmm.
in the contest meeting. So it is pretty obvious that the new people are coming, they are the judges. So how we can maintain the anonymity of the judges at that time?
Okay, it's a very nice question. So let me just put it this way. If you read the speech contest rule book, we all understand at club level, we will all have challenges like this. I have been part of a corporate club, and obviously when, my club used to have a contest, we used to have judges from outside, and we all knew who the judges were. So even if you read the speech contest rule book, it says anonymity of the judges should be anonymous as far as practical. So if you are a club which is like in a remote area and you are inviting, other Toastmaster members to come and judge, everybody knows they are the judge. As far as practical, they should be anonymous. Now at an area division or a district conference, the judges can be anonymous. It won't be that difficult. Why? Because You have a lot of people around. But in club contest, what happens is, when you have smaller, lesser number of people and you don't see some faces on a regular basis, you already know they are the judges. So it's perfectly fine. However, any one of you ever who plays a voting judge in any of the contests, even if you know that the club members know that I am the judge, please do not go about talking about that contest. When the contest is over, you need to wipe it out from your memory and just forget about the contest. This is something that you all can do.
That
And
is,
most
Another,
important,
and that is why you sign that form
the
of
judge's
eligibility
eligibility
and confidentiality. You
ability
are not supposed to speak about the contest to
contest.
anyone, nor comment on the contest. Oh, why did that fellow win?
Yeah.
I had, it should be this way, it should be that way. No, once the contest is over, the results are declared, wipe it off from your hard disk, go forward to the next. And all those who are here, and if you are new, Sapna, just take
Yes,
just
yes,
two
please go ahead.
sentences.
Yeah.
All of you who are new and are not taking part as a contestant, what you should do is to ask for the ballot sheet. Take the ballot sheet and judge based on what you have undergone the training, because that's the only way you will learn and understand how you can become a judge. So don't lose out on that opportunity. Even if they say, "Oh, sorry, we are not distributing it to everyone," you say, "If you have an extra sheet, could you give it to me?" Or if you know that you are going and you can download a soft copy and put your markings there and don't say anything. And when the results are declared, you can match it and see where did I go wrong or what it is. But there are a lot of factors. But by and large, you should learn how to judge. That's a learning thing at every club or at every event where a contest happens.
Dhruv,
Over
go
to
ahead.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
No, no, it's
Thank you.
over. You go ahead.
Thank you, Arvind. Yeah.
okay, I have like another like a thing in my mind. For
Mm-hmm.
example, let's say I'm a chief judge and there's a contest in any club. So I just take uh 12 judges with me
Mm-hmm.
and give them the ballot sheet and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it is a voting time, like when we to count all the votes
Mm-hmm.
points, so what I can do is that I only take the six judges. No, ballot consider only six judges. Like there are six real judges, six fake judges. I think it's a better term. So how is this idea? If I have seen this thing before once.
Okay, so why do you want to get 12 people is the question. It's a good idea. I know what you're thinking, but the thing is to make it easy, you don't want anyone to know who the judges are, so you distribute ballots to everybody. And then your ballot counters, they already know that who the judges that they have to take the ballot from. So I wouldn't say, I was just about to say in the olden era, but I would say pre-COVID times. Okay, Arvind will be here laughing because this is what I have actually seen him doing. So they used to have this big envelope, okay, the chief judges or the ballot counters. What they used to do is they will keep taking ballots from every audience, okay, in their hand, keep putting it in. The moment they will reach the real judge, they will just take it. For people, they know, like, okay, they're putting it in, but they're actually hiding it either in their pocket or putting it somewhere that, and nobody used to get to know that, who the judge is. So you can try this idea out. It's like a proven idea. Carry like that big envelope that you have, right? Just ask everyone to put the vote. The moment your judge person, the one who's judging, he knows, you just take it from him and you just put it like nicely in your hand or put it in the pocket. Nobody knows about it. Just slid it in the trouser pocket. Nobody knows about it. And when you go out, you already know who the judge is. You already have the right people's ballot with you. All right. So thank you so much for that, Dhruv. Folks who have joined a little later or who have just recently joined, we are having a very conversational kind of a meeting right now. It's not like a training session. So please feel free to ask your questions, your doubts about the role, about the contest roles, what all roles are there, what you plan to do, or even if you had a doubt, you whatever you want to, let it be a conversational session. So please feel free to raise your hands, turn on your cameras, and let's talk and get your queries answered. Shalini, please go ahead.
I can you Sorry, I was trying with the Toastmasters timer cards because tomorrow I'm playing a role of timer. So I
Okay.
guess that's what we do.
So you will be an offline timer,
Okay. So my
right?
video
So
would be off? No. How will
no,
it?
but you will have to be present at the venue. Is it a club contest or an area contest?
Online? Uh, uh, no. The club contest.
Okay, well, if it's a club contest, then you're good. I think I'll get on to that. So whether if it's an online environment, if it's an online contest, please ensure that you have at least three timers. Timer one, timer two, and there is a backup timer as well in case if both the timers, drop out because of a signal issue. So
These,
you
right?
have these three, yes. And you also need to have one gray or a white color card, which will be on before you turn it on to green.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
So
and
when I
please
downloaded, I
ensure
just
that the
had,
shutter sorry, if you can
sorry,
just close the shutter like this so that the contestants can only see the green. Yes, they only see the background. That's about it, and you'll always be on mute.
so how do I do that? Put a tape or I put
No, if
Yeah,
you have like
a clip.
a clip or something, like
yeah,
even a visiting card or maybe a tent card, a small card, and you can just cover it up. That's it.
just cover
Cover
the
the,
camera. Okay.
Cover
yeah,
your
cover the,
camera.
Cover your camera, yeah. Cover your camera lens. If I do
Understood.
this,
Understood.
yeah, I
Understood.
have like covered the camera lens right now. You can't see me. So yeah.
And
Mr.
from where do I
India.
get the white card? Because when I downloaded, I got these three.
No, that's fine. You can just put it
No,
up
I think all cards are
blank.
there. If you go to the District 98 website, no, the timer card you should have these. You
Hmm.
will also have the 1 minute silence, 3 minute silence,
Yeah.
five
Even
minute
if you don't
silence.
have it, it's okay. You can just put up a white PPT. That's about it. Like the first slide, which is initially blank, you can
Yeah,
just put
a
that
blank
also.
one, just put that.
Also, I wanted to know, I've seen there are various abbreviations used. I am only aware of TM, that is Toastmasters. What is DTM? I
Okay.
mean, so confused. ZM. Oh my God.
ZM. Okay. ZM is nothing but Zoom master or a tech master. So he will be he's more like the chief sergeant at arms. Uh, mm, Technically like that because they end up playing both the roles. So the Zoom master is, responsible for this entire meeting, muting people, unmuting people, ensuring that, during the evaluation contest, the contestants except number one are sent to the breakout room, who is going to enter, who is not going to enter when the contest is happening. So all of that Zoom Master takes care of, sharing
Admin
the screen
rights.
if possible, right? So that is your,
Admin.
sorry?
All the admin rights the Zoom master will have.
Yes, Zoom Master will be the host. The admin rights for the contest will only be given to the chief judge first and to the contest chair. If the chief judge says that who else needs to have the co-host rights, that's the only time they will be given co-host rights. Otherwise, not. Timers might be given co-host rights in case of the chief judge. So take permission from the chief judge as to who all should have the co-host rights. Okay, that is important. Then you have DTM, which is me, Distinguished Toastmaster, which is Arvind as well. That's the highest educational award, which is given by Toastmasters International to a Toastmaster member, which is if you complete two parts and you play certain roles, like you have served the district as a district officer for a year, you have served your club for 12 consecutive months, you have served the district in other supporting roles like a mentor, sponsor, or a coach. When you have done all of this is when you get a Distinguished Toastmaster award. And you are a Distinguished Toastmaster throughout your life. And you can do this multiple times as well. It's not once in a lifetime activity. It's like a multiple times activity. You can I know people who have 4 or 5 time DTM. So yeah,
Oh,
right.
thanks, Akshara. Thanks, Sunita. Yeah.
You're welcome. Now that we are on the timer topic, Arvind, do you have the physical cards with you?
uh, 1 second,
Right?
I'll just try
Yeah.
and get it. I
Uh,
forgot them.
okay, done. So something very important which I want all of you to understand and remember. Okay, so we all behave in a very different way as timers when we are in our club meetings, right? And this is coming from my personal experience as well. So what happens in a club meeting is that the timer is sitting either right in the front or at the back, howsoever is the setup, correct? And there is always one timer, as you all would have seen, who is responsible for showing the card as well and who's taking down the timing, right? And but what happens in a contest, and then also before I get into the contest, you would have also seen that when your members come for table topic or for delivering a speech, they will come the moment the Toastmaster of the day or the table topics master has announced the topic, they will say, "Can I start?" We also have done it many a times, and yeah, don't do all of this in the contest time. So the role of timer is very important in contest. Now, this what we just spoke with Shalini was one example of an online contest, which is only till club. The moment you will go up till area, division, and district, your contest will be completely offline. Right now, if you all can see Arvind, if you are in a gallery view, you all can see Arvind, right? He's holding a green card. So what will happen in a contest time is that you will have one more, there will be two timers. Okay, very important. Timer one, timer two. If you read the contest rule book, it says that timer one is responsible for showing the card and running the clock. Timer two will note down the timing, and the timer two will then give the timing sheet to the chief judge. Okay. Now, a few mistakes that we all do, and please be careful. Right now, if you all see, Sunita, can we spotlight Arvind if possible? Right now, if you see, Arvind is holding the cards up till his chest level. He is neither showing it like this. Arvind, take it a little, no, just little higher on your chest. That's it, right? Neither he's putting it up, he's not showing it in the air, nor he's keeping it down, right? Now, what does this mean is in a contest, when a contestant has reached the minimum qualifying time, which is 5 minutes for a humorous speech, or 2 minutes, it's an evaluation, right? 2 minutes for an evaluation, right? The timer will have to show the card like this. I'm sorry, I'm holding my iPad. Arvind is holding is holding the green card. The timer will keep the timer card up till here. Why? Because the timer card is only and only for the contestant and nobody else. Now the timer card will only change at the 6th minute for humorous and 2 minutes 30 seconds for evaluation. So that means the timer will keep holding or showing the card to the speaker all the time. And then at the end of the maximum qualifying time, which was 7 minutes for humorous and 3 minutes for evaluation, the timer will show the red card. Now, most important thing, the red card will be shown till the speaker ends or hands it over back to the to the contest chair. Correct? So he will say thank you and hand it back over. That till that time, the red card will be on. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Arvind. Most important thing, as a timer, please do not give any kind of a verbal or a non-verbal indication to any of the contestants. This is very important for all of you to know. When the contest chair is done saying the title, or contestant number one, Sapna, speech title, Sapna. I know my timing will start at the first verbal or non-verbal gesture or a sound that I make. The timer has to be really attentive on that. Okay. If and when it's a table topic as well. Now, if the speaker asks, "Can I start?" The timers are requested not to have not to give any kind of an indication. You need to have basically a poker face or a stoned face. Just keep looking straight. The moment, I think, even if the contestant is going to say, "Can I start?" That is the beginning for you to start. I mean, you start the timing the moment he says, "Can I?" You immediately you start off. Why? Because the timing, the contestant has spoken a verbal word or he has made a gesture. If you want to take that time and you don't want to say something, take 10 seconds or 15 seconds, just stand still on the stage without making any movement or a sound. But most important is, do not, both the timers are requested not to give any indication whether it start, you can start now, you can end now, or you're going over limit. You just have to ensure that you show the timing cards as and when the contestant reaches the time as it is supposed to be. Okay. Now, the second important thing is, if you all have read the contest rule book, and even it's there as part of the contest kit on the District 98 website, if you look at it, contestant number one is responsible for the timing device and showing of the cards. if there is, we also suggest that the timer 2 also keeps an additional clock with them, so that both of them can start the timing. And in case if there is a technical issue with timer one's clock, you still know that there is a, the timing is still on at the timer two's clock, and we don't have to go ahead and stop the contest or give an additional 30 seconds to the contestant. Any doubts anybody has on this?
What happens
Yes,
when a
yes.
contestant is on the stage but does not begin to talk? For example, it's the table topics contest. What happens and when should the timer start?
15 seconds maximum is what I understand, and the timer needs to start the timing. It cannot be 30 seconds, half a minute, or whatever. 15 seconds at the max, or as, because even the rule books ask the contestants to start as early as fast as possible. 5 to 10 seconds is still a decent time. 15 seconds if it is more, but 5 to 10 seconds, and then you can start off with the timing. But this is a question that you can even ask the chief judge, and generally it's 15 seconds that we have been giving, but you can always go ahead and ask the chief judge as well what timing would they like to consider.
And that should be standard for all
Yes.
the contestants at that contest of the table topics or whichever contest is going.
Yes.
Srinivasan sir
So
has a question.
I
Yes.
I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
With respect to online timing,
Mm-hmm.
different platforms, have different ways to show the cards. And most of us
Yes.
are quite poor at that, and we don't know, and we end up messing it up. Like, so how do we, like for Zoom platform, how do we go about showing the cards properly? The background green changing, red changing, and also Microsoft Teams, for example, sometimes it's on that, sometimes
Laptop.
on Google Meet. So how do we go about this?
I can only tell you about Zoom because I think Microsoft Teams at times, if it's your official account, it might not let you upload
Exactly, exactly.
an
It
external. So
doesn't.
that's where I have seen that folks, what they do is they share their screen. They have a PPT, like a PowerPoint, in which they have the white, the green, the green, the yellow, and the red, and they go ahead and they share the PPT. Even on Google Meet, I have seen the same, though I have not tried uploading ever a backdrop or a in Google Meet. But for Zoom, it's easier. It's actually good because when you go to your background, you can
Mhm,
upload the three color cards, the four color cards, or the five, whatever it is there. So you don't close the window, that pop-up box,
mhm,
as a timer, because nobody else will see it. So the only thing that you can do is keep changing the timing, the cards as and when, and people will only, the audience and the speaker will only see those cards, while you have a pop-up window wherein you're actually changing the cards.
mhm. Okay.
Don't use the one that show that where you have the seconds running. It should never be
Yeah.
displayed to the audience or to the contestant.
Yes. Nobody except the contestant should on I mean, it's only the contestant who should see the timing cards. Nobody else actually should be seeing the timing cards, and that is why the timers are always in the front, and they're never behind, they're always right in the front. And if there is enough space, right, you can always ensure that the audiences leave an entire row and then they start sitting behind, so that nobody is able to see what is the timing. And let me tell you this, okay, you have that sheet, the timing sheet. You all would have seen the timing sheet as well, the time recording sheet that you have. Please ensure that you have a file in which you have the sheet, so that the moment you're done writing, you close the file. I have at an instance seen a contestant who was walking down from the stage, and the contestant peeped into the timer's sheet. So this is unethical, is what I would say. But at the same time, how we can avoid such situations is that we put it in a file. It's easier also, you will get something to write on. It's a hard it's a hard thing, and then just close it off, that's it. And you sign it at the end, after all the contestants are done speaking, and when the chief judge comes, fold it and hand it over. One very important thing that you can do is, if there are any disqualifications based on time for any of the contestant, highlight it in red for the chief judge.
No, or
Okay,
circle it if you don't
or
have a red.
circle it, whatever it is, but just highlight it. And also ensure that you do not leave the room until the results are announced. The reason why? because timer is the first person to know if the contestant is disqualified, right? Per chance, let's say, if there is a mistake in tabulating the results, all right, and it was missed, and the contestant who actually got disqualified based on time was the one who is one of the top three winners, the timer can immediately stop when the results are being announced and get that corrected.
Hmm.
Even if it is announced, but immediately it has to be done. It can't be done after all the three
Yes.
results are announced, then finish. It's gone.
It's
Your
gone.
time is gone. You
Correct.
cannot say, oh, why did, but it's up to you. You have to do that. And secondly, also remember it's to sign and write your name on the time sheet when you give it, or like Sapna said, fold it and give it to nobody, not even to the tally counter. It has to be only taken and given to the chief judge.
Can I speak, Sabna?
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
please.
Another thing I want to tell uh, anybody who's playing the timer role is the way you note down the time. If it is 7:50 seconds, 50, do not write it as 7 and 5, because that can mean that the speaker took 7 minutes and 5 seconds. So make sure you either write the entire number 50 or write it in words 50 seconds, because 50 means it's disqualified, 75 means they are still qualified. So there will be a miscommunication if you write it that way. So make sure you write it properly, how many seconds, whether it's 5 or 50, 30 or 3. That clarification is really required as a timer.
Or
So
use the proper decimals like 7.05. And that should
Yes.
be for all the timing should be written in the same manner. You can't say one as 7 minutes or put a 7 minutes, one, a stick up there and then something else. No, you have a standard what you are writing. So 7 minutes, you can put 7M and 05S, something to that effect, or 7.05. If that is all that you're continuing with, that is how it should be.
So let me ask you all a fun question, okay? So what if a contestant speaks for 7 minutes, 30 seconds, 59 milliseconds? So if you're
Disqualified.
playing the role of a timer, will you still, will you disqualify him or you will let him qualify? He's not
Disqualified.
reached 7:31.
Disqualified.
Disqualify? Okay.
Qualified.
Disqualified.
How many of you said disqualified? Raise your hands. Virtual hands or howsoever. How many of you said disqualified? Okay. How many of you say qualified? All right. Good. Arvind, do you have the answer to this question?
All right. The answer to the question is those who said he can't be disqualified is correct. Because unless those milliseconds change to a second and it goes to show 31, 7 minutes and 31 seconds, only then can you disqualify the contestant. If it is 7 minutes and up to 59 milliseconds, he or she cannot be disqualified. So milliseconds are not actually written, but you wait. So if the person has finished at 7 minutes and 7.30, he's still within the time limit. If he finishes his speech, if he goes 7.30 and then some, and until it shows 31, and you note down as 31, he cannot be disqualified. So remember, or 4 minutes and 31 seconds. 4 minutes and 30 seconds, he's still qualified. 3 minutes and 39 seconds, he's still
Qualified. Yes.
at the lower end, that is.
Yep. All right. Any questions on the timer role?
As a timer, if I make a mistake, am I disqualified?
No. What mistake can you make?
Only one thing, you don't get carried away by the
Yes.
speech.
Speeches.
Your
Yes.
job is, you are multitasking. Please understand, as leaders, and this is one way when you take up any role in Toastmasters, You are multitasking, and multitasking is one aspect of leadership. Unknowingly, you are getting qualified as a leader. There are so many roles that you can take. Only understand how it is to be done. And without you knowing it, your leadership qualities your skills are being enhanced. So take up a role, attend a meeting, always be the first to take up. And if you say, oh, why did I not get it? No, don't feel disheartened. Go learn to judge a contest. You learn. There are chances that, it's your interest that counts and where you are, and make time for it. First and foremost, always remember, why have I joined Toastmasters? Remember that at every, oh, today I'm feeling too lazy. It's raining so heavily. No, I don't have an umbrella. Do I really need to go? Let me not go. No, don't go. You won't miss. You think you are not missing anything, but you would have missed some wonderful evaluation, a wonderful speech where you could have learned something or taken and used it for you in your speech. So you feel that you have not lost, fair enough. But don't ever think that. Always remember, I joined Toastmasters out of my own free will because I wanted to improve myself in whatever, either leadership or speaking or whatever. Remember that and attend the meet. Take up roles. How many of you have taken the promise of Toastmasters when you joined? I think the newer members, they were not actually given, but there is a promise in Toastmasters. Please look it up in the Toastmasters site, ask for Toastmasters promise, and you read it and you will understand how deep it is. I will come and take up roles when I'm called for or when there are. So these are promises that you make when you become a Toastmaster. I think we're digressing a bit, but you need to know this, because the newer people who have joined, they go directly and sit at a meeting and start without understanding there are so many deeper things in Toastmasters.
Thank you for that, Arvind. All right, so guys, let's move on from the timer role. Anyone has any questions or doubts on the timer role, how to play it? I'm hoping that you all will take up the timer role in the upcoming contest season, right? Let's move on to the ballot counter. I think one of the most crucial role. Has anyone played a tally counter or a ballot counter role? Anyone wants to ask a question? Dhruv, you've played it, right? Thank you very much. Medha, do you have a question for me, or do you okay, that was not a question. Thank you very much. So can I, Medha, if you're comfortable talking right now, can you please explain what did you do in your role as a tally counter?
Sure. I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are.
You're not visible. It would be nice if you could come on camera if it's possible. Because always remember, speaking, communication, you need, because people can then look at you, understand you, you become friends with them. And also, they can also tell you or give you some suggestion on how you could enhance that speech of yours and your facial expressions. So that is why always come on camera. We
Yes,
all we are all handsome, we're all beautiful. So why do we hide from others? Come forward.
So my laptop's camera isn't working.
Okay,
I've joined
done.
from my
Unless
phone.
you have a reason.
Go ahead, Medha.
I have joined from my phone.
I think Medha has been nice enough to come on camera as well now.
Yes. So as the ballot counter, the chief judge had briefed me and given me the responsibility to share the contest, international speech contest ballots with the judges on the day of the contest. I did not know the voting judges beforehand, and I got the printouts of the ballot, and I distributed it not just to the voting judges but also a few extra friends in the area. Then, with the online voting judges, I made sure that the ballots that I was receiving were signed, and They were also marked with first, second, and third place, and there were no ties from the voting judges themselves. So
All
I
right.
was in interaction with the voting judges to count, to take their ballot first, and then help the tally counter in tallying the points. So that's what I did.
All right. Thank you. So who briefs the tally counters? Who's responsible for briefing the tally counters?
The chief judge.
Anybody thinks it's somebody else? Contest chair, area director, division director, Arvind Nair, Sapnori. No, right? Okay, good. Thank you for that, Medha. So the chief judge will inform. So please ensure, okay, when the chief judge is doing a briefing, since if you will ever be playing a chief judge, when chief judge is doing a judge's briefing, okay, the tally counters are part of that briefing. Because when the briefing is done, then there and then the chief judge can go ahead and inform the tally counters who will be the judges that will be tagged to them. So if there are, let's say, per se 6 or 7 judges and you have 2 tally counters, one tally counter can collect 4 ballots from 4 judges, the other can collect 3 ballots from 3 judges, right? So the ballot sheets can be given by the chief judge. It is perfectly fine. At the same time, what Medha mentioned, the voting judges have to ensure that they rank first, second, and third accordingly on the ballot. What the voting judges or the ballot counter should collect from the voting judges is just the strip, just the first, second place, the results. They don't need to know what you have marked each contestant onto the ballot. We just need the final sheet. The most important thing, voting judges, please fold your ballot and hand it over to the ballot counters. The ballot counters will not be opening it till they go to the chief judge. Okay. For the voting judges, very important, please ensure you sign and you put your name on each ballot. The ballot counters will not be checking if the ballot is signed or not there and then when they're collecting the ballot. Please don't do that. When you go into the room with the chief judge, when each ballot is opened, the first thing that you need to check if the ballot is signed or not signed. If it is not signed, please do not run back to the judge asking him to sign. The ballot will be discarded. Okay? And do not go back and tell the judge also that your ballot was discarded. Wipe it out. And you just consider the ballots which have been signed. Now, the ballot that has been signed, first, second, and third. Now, there will be times that since we are human beings, I can write a name and then I would feel, okay, I want to cut the name. I want to write someone else in first, second, and third. At that point of time, for the voting judges, it is important to sign on top of the correction that they have made just to ensure that, that it's you who has done it. I'm not saying that anything will happen to the ballot in the transit, but I'm just saying just to ensure that it's, you are the one who's changed the result. So you went ahead and you signed the ballot. For all the voting judges, timing is none of your concern. Please strictly go by each contest ballot, which is in its own. It's a very, I think, a very detailed document as to how every contestant's speech is supposed to be evaluated or judged.
Judged,
Judged.
not evaluate.
Judged. Yes. So for the ballot counters, when you get into a room with the chief judge, please ensure it's a closed room and there is nobody apart from the ballot counters and the chief judge. Okay. Now the ballot counters, you have a sheet which can accommodate minimum 10 names, 10 contestants on each sheet. On the top, you will have the name of the contestants. On the left hand side, you can write down the name of the judges. Okay. You keep opening one by one each. So the first place winner gets how many points? Anybody knows who's been 3 points? The second place winner gets 2 points. The third place winner gets 1 point. That's how it's more like a table. So you keep mentioning the point and then you tally. Now, I would say like a good practice to do is one of the tally counters will first you collect all the ballots. You open all the ballots. Okay. Let the chief judge also tick mark if he has received all the ballots from all the judges. only the tie breaking ballot will be with the chief judge, which nobody, not even the ballot counters, will know who the tie breaking judge was. Then once you have all the ballots right in front of you, one of the tally counters can start reading out sequentially first, second, third from each of the judge. The other one is writing it down. Once you're done writing it down and marking all, the totals, the other ballot counter can go ahead and again do the same exercise just to be sure for a quality check that they did not miss out. Now, before you write down the names, the first, second, third, the final names, please, the chief judge will open the timing sheet and then he'll say whether the top three have qualified on the basis of time or they have not qualified. If there is any tie, either in the first three positions or even beyond the first three positions, because we only announce first three, we do not announce the rest. But even if it is a tie either in the first three or in the rest of the positions, the tie breaking ballot will be opened by the chief judge so that he can go ahead and he can sequence or put all the contestants sequentially as per the or as put all the contestants ranking wise and then submit the report to the district, because this entire process is also required by the Toastmasters International when we have our district champions going to the regional quarterfinals. So please ensure whether it is the top three which has a tie or even if it is beyond, among anybody from fourth rank to the eighth rank has a tie, the tie breaking ballot is going to be opened so that all the contestants can be ranked from first to eighth, and then the disqualification will happen if there is any based on the time. It's a very theoretical process, but Dhruv, you have a question. Please go ahead.
For example, if in the tie breaking judges ballot there
Hmm?
is even a tie there, for example, that what
Not
will happen?
allowed. Tie breaking
Not
is
at
the
all.
one who is supposed to rank all contestants.
No,
Rank,
for
no,
example,
that nothing happens. Never ever. The ballot of a tie breaking judge, I'm sorry to cut you short, but the ballot of a tie breaking judge is positioned like first, second, third, fourth, like that. So there is not even a remote chance, not even a 0.1% chance that there will be a tie on a tie breaking judge's ballot.
Then you can't
no,
have him as a tie-breaking judge. You can
Yeah.
slap him and tell him go back, learn and come.
Okay,
Because
now.
it's no 1 second. There's something that Medha said which was incorrect and which should not be done. And that is, as a chief judge, you can't ask the ballot counter to go and give the ballots to the judges. You can have them collected, but you cannot ask
Yeah.
the ballot counter to go and give. The chief judge is the only person who will give the ballots to the ballot counter, to the judges, and not anybody else. If somebody is doing it, that's the incorrect practice.
Yeah. Because the chief judge will also sign the ballot and hand it over. So during the briefing, if it's an in-person briefing, right, what we used to have before, the chief judge can hand over the ballots there and then to the judges. If it's not an in-person briefing, it is a Zoom online, and then when you reach the chief judge will still call all the judges to a place, hand over the ballots, and let them disperse. Okay, but the tie-breaking judge will never be part of the judge's briefing. He or she will be briefed separately by the chief judge. I
And
mean,
none
this
of
is
you will know.
anonymous.
None
This
of
is
you will
anonymous.
know. And if there is a protest, he will not be called.
Yes, the tie-breaking judge is not part of the protest hearing as well, so he's kept out. But I hope you all know how to handle a protest.
Most of you are new, so I think we'll not go into the protest part here.
Okay, done.
Let's
All
go on to
right.
the role players if they
Yeah,
contest
done.
chairs and
Any questions on ballot counters?
The ballots are handed over and all this stuff happened, but what about with the online sessions?
So for online, there are various mediums. One is that because these forms are editable online, so I can fill the form, I can take only the ballot screenshot and I can send it across to the chief judge plus the ballot counter, whatever the chief judge has said. That's about it. And I can message in the group along with the chief judge that, I am done. Like I have submitted my ballot. So this is one process. Some of them will ask you to fill a Google form as well, ranking for 1, 2, 3. That's about it. So that's generally that's the that can be followed.
And if a ballot gets disqualified because it wasn't signed, then isn't that contestant, maybe he or she might have won, but because it was disqualified?
No,
So
who
it's
will
not
know?
yeah,
The
it's
contestant will not know. Nobody will
nobody will
know.
know.
I
And
know, but
one seats, one judge's ballot does not define who's going to be the winner. That is why we have more judges, right? We have 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, whatever. Always keep an odd judge. So that because minimum requirement at a club level, as far as practical, is 3 minimum. At an area level, it's 5. Division is also 5, I think. Sunita, correct me if I'm wrong, Sunita and Arvind.
No.
And I think
Division
district
is
is 7
7.
and above. Division is 7, district is
Division
also
is
7
7.
and above.
Yeah.
So but we never go in with the minimum. We always go in for as far as possible. So if you have odd number of judges, I mean, if the judge is not signing the ballot, that means they have not been briefed properly, or even if they were briefed properly, they were not attentive enough. So it's a loss for them.
I have a question.
Yep.
That for the online judges,
Mhm.
so I generally seen that they just write the name on the signature on the signature. Is
Mm.
it allowed?
If you have name also, because some of them don't, I mean, it's a digital sign. I sign it digitally. So my, the tool that I use, it allows me. But there is also space to write names. They have written the name, we are good. At least it's not blank. It's not like just the top 3 names and sending. No, they have sent that this is my ballot, I have signed it. So a name in electronic format will be considered as a signature. And please, if you are going to be a CJ ever, please look out for having variety of judges, in the sense, try and have an equal ratio of male, female, try and have an equal ratio of senior Toastmasters as old as what Arvind is because of the white hair, as young as I am. Okay. So and maybe as young as what Dhruv is right now. So probably look out for a variety of judges, because what happens is that we all come with different perspectives and experience, and it will give you a very wholesome judging. So when you have a mixed batch like this, like, a mixed veg, I would say, you'll have a very good judging.
The
Don't
And
go with
results
as
would be
only
good. Yeah.
don't
and
go with
as
only DTMs.
no, oh, please don't. Please
Yeah.
don't. I'll be honest with you. Not, I mean, no offense to the DTMs. There are a lot of DTMs here. Please, not necessarily that every DTM is a capable judge.
And
Okay?
that's why start young as you join Toastmasters.
Yes.
Start with judging at the contest if you can, or else do not you can learn how to judge. If you are not a judge, learn how to judge. That's your classroom to learn and better yourself. You can always go and ask your mentor why and how, and this is what I looked at and I judged. Can you tell me how did somebody get that, or what was it that brought him to the fore?
Yeah.
Something like that. You can always go to your mentor and have a mentor. If you don't have a mentor, ask your vice president education to give you a mentor for everything. Meda has a question.
I have a couple of questions related to the chief judge.
Go ahead.
So, for the chief judge's briefing, during my first time as the chief judge, I was mentored to create a WhatsApp group in order to coordinate everything. But during my second time, it was said that we do not need to create the WhatsApp group because even the voting judges should not know who the other voting judges are. So, what is the best practice over here to coordinate with the voting judges?
See, I mean, as voting judges, when your briefing happens, everybody looks at each other's face, and we all know who the judge is, right? So whether it's an online or an offline environment, I think it's always good a practice, so that now that we have WhatsApp, you can actually use WhatsApp just to communicate. Because at times your judges, even at the same venue, they'll be sitting at different places. As a chief judge, you cannot run here and there. So you can communicate easily over WhatsApp with each other. Right? So there is no hard and fast rule that you cannot have a WhatsApp group. It's, it's not required for you, for the other voting judge not to know who the other one is. It's not like that at all. So for to communicate effectively, you can put all of them in a group. People, I think we do have Toastmasters who've been part of it from a very long time. They all understand. The most important thing is that nobody should talk about the contest after the contest is over.
Having them in a group also helps when there is a protest. You just need to
Yes.
let them know that all of them need to step out of the room, but not together. Let them know that if you message something like that, just
Yes.
come in gaps, not कि पांचों के पांच उठ के
Now,
साथ में निकल गए.
thank you for
Not
bringing
that
that up actually. When there is a protest, the voting judge can write the word protest on the ballot.
Must.
Must
Must
write
write.
it on the word protest to the ballot before handing it over to the ballot counter. And please do not tell anything to the ballot counter कि protest है, ये है, कुछ नहीं बोलना है. Because जब ballot खुलेगा, the chief judge will any which ways know there was a protest. Okay? Now, the most important thing which the contest chair needs to take care of. Okay? Because the chief judge will immediately, the protest is there, he will drop it in the group. One by one, you can walk. Please do not walk together, as what Sunita suggested. When the chief judge will inform the contest chair, if any one of you is a contest chair in a situation when there is a protest, either plan out beforehand to have an activity, or please go ahead and give a break. But do not say, oh, we have a protest and that's why we are giving a break. No, do not even announce it in the mic. There is some trouble with the chief judge. Please handle the situation at that time. There's going to be a delay in the results. So you do some activities. Once you're done with the contestant interviews, you can give a break or you can get into some, activities. So pre-plan such activities which can help you engage the audience during the time when we have a protest. Okay?
Medha, you said something about somebody told you that you should not be doing that, and the one judge should not know who the other judges are. Now, as a Toastmaster, in Toastmasters, there are 4 values that are upheld. What are those 4 values?
Integrity,
Yes,
respect, excellence, and service.
right. So the first one is integrity. So the question of not knowing anyone doesn't arise there, because even if they know, they're supposed to keep quiet. So that is out of the question.
But I have a question. I mean, how will the voting judge know there's a protest? Because he's just heard the speeches and he's giving the marks.
So
Yeah,
some
but
of them are experienced. They have been hopping, skipping around in different clubs, and some of them are, diligent enough to actually read a lot of books, or maybe they've seen a lot of videos of other speakers. Sorry, Arvind, I cut you in between,
no,
right?
no.
So that's how you know that if something has been borrowed from somewhere. So I'll tell you something, okay? When it's a protest, the judge, whosoever is protesting, has to give a proof and evidence that this is similar to what the speakers, what I heard in the speech, and that is why it is a protest. If you don't have a proof, it will not be considered as a protest.
So
At
he,
that
he will
moment,
write
only you
there
have to.
contestant number 2,
No, no,
protest.
no. No, no,
No,
no,
no,
no,
no.
no. Just write on your ballot on the side protest. That's about it. Then everybody gathers. The chief judge will gather everybody, and then chief judge will say,
No.
okay,
First, the chief judge will talk to the judge who's protesting to
Protesting.
understand
correct.
what it is, so that
Yeah.
whether it
Mm.
needs to be discussed or not.
Yes.
Discuss.
And if the protesting judge shows the valid proof, I've seen it somewhere, and this, no, you have seen it, keep it at home, but show it to me at this moment of time before I call in all the judges. And
Yeah.
only if I'm satisfied as the chief judge will I say, yes, there is a ground for protest, let me call the other judges.
But
You can't.
supposing there are 3 contestants whom the voting judge feels has copied from somewhere, and all the 3, he wants protest for all the 3.
Right.
So how does he doesn't write, I mean, when during discussion only it'll come out?
No.
But
So
the 3
if you are protesting, you on your ballot, when you're, and always everybody will, all the judges will only give the lower portion where there's a perforation. You tear it out and give. Don't give the top portion of how you mark each contestant. What you would write is just protest, And as a chief judge, I will call you and say on what grounds are you protesting and what is the thing. So you have made a notation in your pad or whatever, and you will then tell me for contestant number one, this is what he said, and I think it has been taken from so and so. Here's the proof on the net. One. On the other two, if you have similar protest, show me. Right? Okay, then I'll say, yes, it's valid. Yes, they have copied it and it has already been said. So let us call the person in. Then we'll call the judges in, and then I will tell the judge that we have a protest. This is what the judge has protested, and this is the proof of it. So now can we call in the contestant? So the contestant, whoever is the first contestant, you would call the contestant in and say, has this been quoted from somewhere where you have not given due things, and it appears that you have copied it? What have you to say? If he agrees that it has been copied, fair enough. He has agreed. Now it's left to all the judges who have to decide, come to an agreement. Majority of the judges must agree to disqualify or otherwise, and that is then taken forward.
Yeah,
The
and that
contestant is
voting,
taken back.
that
Contestant
Right.
is
that voting is unanimous. The voting over the
Okay. Okay.
protest is also is not unanimous, but I would say it has to be done with in secrecy, in the sense that they can send their vote or a yes on WhatsApp or howsoever it is, or write it down on a chit and give it to the chief judge for only him to look at.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
They,
Got it.
I mean, you can't be out loud in the public, I support or I don't support. So because it is not a debate competition or anything, so once everything is there, and when the chief judge is talking to the contestant, the judges are not there.
Okay.
Please
Okay.
remember, the chief judge will not talk to the contestant for whose speech there is a protest. None of the judges will be there in that same room. It's only the chief judge and the contestant who will have a conversation. And the protest is also valid if it is 25%. More than 25% of the
Of course.
speech
Yeah.
was a taken
That's right.
content, and
That's
and
right.
that's
That's
how
right.
it happened. So once the chief judge is done talking with the contestant agrees, the chief judge will then come back, talk to all the voting judges, and they will then go ahead and in secret they will give their yes or a no to the chief judge, and that's how the final is closed.
Okay.
And that
At
is
the
why we
Yeah,
very categorically, Sapna has mentioned that you need to have an odd number of judges. So you always have 5, 7, and 9 judges, because if there's a tie again with the judges, it
yeah,
is not an unanimous thing. Then who will break that tie? So that
true,
is the reason you should always have 5, 7,
true.
or 9 judges.
And for the contest chair, when you announce the results, it is always, there were 8 contestants. There are time disqualifications, or one contestant has been disqualified based on time, or there is one contestant has been qualified. What would you say when it's a protest, Arvind? Would it be disqualified based on a protest or
No, originality.
simple originality?
Originality.
Yes. So one
There's
contestant
been a
has been
disqualification on
vacation
originality.
on originality. Thank you for that. And this is very important. This verbiage is important because I have actually seen that how people twist the words and all. And because see, the audience will know, but we also have to ensure that we are giving utmost respect to everybody who's participated in that contest. Right. So that's how you go ahead and you announce the results.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And the timer, you are the only persons who will know that somebody is disqualified on time. You will not tell who has been disqualified.
Yeah.
It is only the chief judge who has the right, or who can tell, provided a contestant comes and asks, only the chief judge has to say. If somebody comes and say, oh, you're the timer, can you tell me if I'm the person who has been disqualified? Please, can you approach the chief judge and let him tell you what it is? You cannot, as a timer, tell the contestant that, yes, you were disqualified, or no, there are other contestant number so and so and so and so. No, you're not supposed to give it out. So that is why we ask people to maintain confidentiality, and that's another aspect of leadership where you can be trusted.
So,
So
Arvind, can the
understand.
chief judge inform the contestant
Yes.
who's been
No,
disqualified?
if that contestant comes and asks, if a contestant comes and asks, have I been disqualified on time or originality? You can say no. If he's not the contestant.
Okay. Yes or but if he is, then can you
But if
say
he is,
yes?
you have to say yes, you have been
Okay.
disqualified on time. If you want, you can tell him the timing also, because you
Okay.
have both the sheets with you.
Got
You
it.
know,
Very important things. I know, Shalini, you have raised your hand from a very long time. I will come back. I'll come to your question. Two things. We are over the time. So in case if you anyone wants to drop off, you can. I'll just continue. We'll end, the session with the questions. Most important thing is when the ballots are done, when you have tallied all the ballots, please hand it over only to the chief judge, and chief judge has to ensure that they discard the ballots. So either the chief judge can take it home and then discard everything there. It's only up to him, but please do not discard and throw it at the venue that you have your contest at. Please ensure that you don't do that.
No, but
also,
don't,
yeah.
I would suggest don't discard it there because you have to fill your form and send.
Yes. No, this the
Okay.
ballots I'm talking about. The sheet and all will be
Only
with
the
them, no?
ballots.
Just the ballots. Yes.
The
Yes.
top
Yeah.
portion,
The
the
top
Yeah.
judge's
portion.
top
Top.
portion,
Please
please
take it
take it
home and
home.
discard.
Yeah,
Please take
it
it
Yeah.
home.
cannot be
Discard.
discarded in the venue,
At the
should
venue.
not
Yes.
be
Yeah.
discarded
Yeah.
at the venue.
Please don't
Yeah.
make any aeroplanes or any boats out of it and at the venue, even if it is raining like the way it rains in Mumbai, please don't play around with it. Just take it home, discard it then. Okay. So, Shalini, you have a question. Please go ahead.
Are there any judging parameters?
Yes. So, you have a ballot.
Yeah.
And you strictly go by the ballot. The ballot in itself is very explanatory because every section there is a detailed explanation given by Toastmasters International, so you can go through it.
And anyone who wants to contest, before you contest, first and foremost, go through the ballot. Understand how judging will take place, and then try and script your speech and all the other aspects of the speech based on the ballot.
And you said 25% is allowed for reference.
Yeah.
Yes, for reference.
It's so
Only if it is also mentioned that from whom the reference is taken.
Okay, so I can mention that suppose this is a quote by so and so.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes. Important is that please ensure for the CJ specifically, when you reach out to people for judging, when you reach out to fellow Toastmasters for judging, please ensure the first and foremost thing that you ask, are you a paid member of a club in good standing? Are you a member in good standing from a club in good standing? Very important. Uh, I am a member in good standing if I have paid my dues, and I am a member of club in good standing if my club is eligible. That means I have minimum 8 members. Arvind,
No, the
no,
second part is not there. I have to be a member in good standing only for
Mm,
judging.
no, no. It's
For
for
judging.
the
For
role players.
judging,
It's for the role
no,
players, I
only
thought.
for judge. No, for
Okay.
judges. I have to be in good standing. My membership should be current.
Even
Whether
if
my
my club
club,
is
yeah,
ineligible.
no. If your club is not in good standing, it's okay. Because
Okay.
it has got nothing to do with the club. You as a judge has got nothing to do with the club.
Okay. Thanks for putting that. I didn't know.
Yeah,
Sec-
this
Yeah.
has
For
been
contestants.
clarified
Yeah.
and
okay.
got from Toastmasters International.
For
Okay. Because
contestants, the club has to be in good standing
For
also.
right,
contestants, yeah.
right. Even for the role players, they said it was not required to be in good standing. But for the judges, I don't know why I read it myself. It's in good standing. I'll go back and I'll read it. The second thing important is please ask the judge, the person you're reaching out to, are you contesting in the same type of contest in your club or any other level? This is important. Why? Because if you are a contestant in that same contest, you cannot judge beyond the club also. So please do not go ahead and judge if you are going to be participating in the same contest, even if it's at your club or at a different area or a different level, anywhere across the Toastmasters world, across the globe. Right? So it's very important that you're only and only judging that particular contest, but maybe you're participating in evaluation. You are a judge for humorous, but maybe you're participating in evaluation that works. But do not be an a judge or a contestant in the same type of contest. Okay, Medha, you have a question.
So as you said that when a protest is raised for on the basis of originality, we announce the chief who first of all announces the disqualification? Is it the contest chair or the chief judge? Because the disqualification as per time is announced by the contest chair. So who announces this one?
The results announcement is always done by the contest chair. So even that if there are any disqualifications, be it originality or timing, it will be done by the contest chair. Nobody else will speak. The only time a timer or a ballot counter can raise a hand or interrupt if the results are not exactly what they had tallied.
Right. And there is also a protest on the basis of referencing to another contestant's speech or another contestant. So
Yeah.
what do we announce at that point of time?
Originality again. It
Yeah,
will all
just say
go into your
originality.
originality only.
Okay,
You
okay.
don't have
And
to try not to be so specific then.
Yeah.
Because see, when you say that a person has been disqualified, many of the audience will already know because that's one of the rules for disqualification. They have witnessed the speech and they know that he has referenced somebody else, and that's the reason why he has been disqualified.
right,
And
thank you.
that the chief judge, whilst writing the results, before he gives, whilst giving it to the contest chair to announce the results, the first thing he will write is there were no disqualifications on. If there are no disqualification, it means on time or anything. So only mention there were no disqualifications. If there was a disqualification on a specific reason, then mention before you announce the results, you have to mention there were 2 disqualifications on time. And now for the third place, you begin with the third, second, and then you call for the first place. Don't say the winner and second place, and always say first place, second place, and third. But don't say first runner-up and second runner-up. That's not the way, and don't confuse and then say, oh no, what I meant was this. No, it has to be announced in the way that in third place, and please remember that as a contester, those are your glorious moments on stage, but please remember the results are announced towards the end when energy is low for everyone, they just want to go out. Don't try to, oh, can anyone guess and then prolong the thing. Don't do that. Please don't.
For the contests are very important since you will be responsible for getting a test speaker. Please try and ensure that the test speaker is somewhere between level 2 or has, is either is there like on at least the test speaker has completed 3 or 4 speeches, is well versed with the speech structure, and you can probably tell them to you can also help them to give them tips, but ensure that your test speaker is well prepared before they even get on to the stage. I have seen in my experience now test speakers, I mean, it's good to give opportunity to new Toastmasters because not many people have heard them. One, do not get experienced Toastmasters to be your test speaker. The reason being because the more experienced they are, people have listened to all of them. And it will be very difficult also to go ahead and probably evaluate the speeches. But so what happens with Toastmasters is first is they get motivated because they get a platform to showcase their speaking skills. One, second most important thing is that they will also get an exposure to a fraternity outside of their club. When you have to deliver a speech to 20, 25, 30, 35 people, or maybe 50, 100 people at a division conference, your confidence level just boosts up. So when you are going and hunting or looking out for a test speaker, please ensure that they are somewhere in level 1 or beginning of level 2, which that they understand the basics of speech structure, and opening body and a conclusion, and just help them out to tell them to weave a proper story and not have those pointers like in their speeches, which will make it difficult or maybe easier for some of the contestants to evaluate them, but have like a proper structure of the speech. So it's very important that you brief the test speakers as well. Do not speak out the club name or anything about the test speaker until the test speaker has spoken. And that too, at the end of the contest, when you have to give certificates to all the contestants, that's when you can facilitate and talk about the test speaker and the club that they come from. That's about it. Do not dwell too much into all the details and everything for them. But please look out for a test speaker, which and also help them out. Just don't tell them I want you to be a test speaker and not look at them until the end. And also have a backup test speaker, huh? What if the first one fails to come or has an emergency? Look out for a backup test speaker also. Keep them ready.
It's always good to even speak with them prior,
Yes.
because if you just got a reference from somebody and you just keep them as your test speaker, that's not the way to do it. Have a chat with them, because sometimes some of them have very heavy regional accents and then the contestants won't understand what is happening. So have a chat with them to understand what they're doing. Also try to understand which speech are they giving, because there was a time when somebody came up with some AI speech and nobody understood anything, and somehow they managed to do the evaluation. So the speech cannot be too out of the box
Technical.
also. Yeah, and too technical, because if it's completely on about a machine and engineering, then there is nothing anybody can do about it, right? It's very difficult for the contestants. So make sure you have a chat with them to understand what are they doing, or what are they going to do. Also, before you choose your test speaker, check with them if they've been test speaker in this season anywhere, and if they've been at any of the areas or clubs from where your contestants are currently, then you should not take them, because at least one of them have heard him prior and they'll have an advantage. So make sure that the test speaker who comes here for your area has never been a test speaker at any of the clubs of your area. When it goes for division, make sure they were never the speaker at the club or at the area. So there should be a new one, so that none of the contestants have a advantage. Check with your contestants if they are dual member. Check which areas those clubs are in. Have they ever seen the? So see, you just
We're
need to
not
go into
we are not
fright
frightening you, but these are things.
detail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At that,
these
you
are
can
details
start
that
at
you
the
should
club
take.
level, and as you progress, you would know these are things that have to be
Yeah.
looked at.
See,
And
the
don't
best way to do this is when you finish at your club level. Like when I was CJ at my club level, I handed over the name of my test speaker to my area director. So then from then on, he can do. If every club does that and it keeps going ahead, everyone's life is easy. So when they uh, arrange for a CJ, they can let them know that these people have been a test speaker in this area, so avoid them. So that is a practice that we can do. So yeah, so that's
you
easier way to do it.
and please ensure that you do not have any second or a third winner from any club as a test speaker. Don't do that also. Okay? Don't do that. BM, I don't know who I'm not sure about your name, but you have raised your
Hi,
hand.
Balbir Singh Man.
Hello, Bhagwan sir, how are you?
Balbir Singh
Balbir
Man.
sir, sorry. Hi, how are you?
I'm great.
Please ask your
Yes,
question.
in the last 7 years, what I have been Toastmasters, many confusing things always come up. Only one simple question: we are having evaluation contest and the humorous speech contest.
Mm-hmm.
There are difference of opinion. How at that before lunch we are planning to have evaluation contest, and I am saying that we should give the certificates and the name of the winners, etc. Is there a standard practice that it should be done at the end? Because there is no point asking some people to stay for another 3 or 4 hours. It is festival time. As far as Toastmasters India is concerned, we're not talking of the Western world.
Hmm.
How to do that? What is the ideal thing? And whether I can veto down that no, it has to be like this. Because if it is a festival which is concerning me, at least I respect others' viewpoint also in that matter. Just guide us.
I think you need to take this offline. It has got nothing to do with the contest role players.
No, it is a role player kind of thing that five people are there. They want to go, or they will be acknowledged. They have to be given a certificate of participation. And there are others who are may win or may not win. At
Okay.
least we can do this.
You
And
just want to send them off. You don't want an audience.
Yeah, so I'll tell you how to okay, so I'll
audience,
tell you
I
what.
can say, yeah, just
Yeah,
I feel that some things were coming up. That's why this thought came up in mind.
yeah.
No,
So
maybe directly connected. I will really appreciate if some guidance can come up,
so
please.
I'll tell you what
Be
really what
candid
have we
enough,
been.
not an issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, no. I mean, the general what we used to do was we wanted people to stay till the end, because otherwise one contest will happen, everybody will run off. Because uh, and and if there is only one contestant and you have lot many club members, right, you have community clubs who come out in numbers actually, and they, what if they only have one contestant, so they might all want to just go away, and you will not have too many people, and it's not good for the contestant, right, who's standing onto the stage and they barely see anybody in the audience listening to them. So that was one reason that we used to recommend that announce the results at the end of the
Agreed.
contest.
Agreed.
Right now, if you look at the contest rule book, it says that you can officially adjourn the contest like in bigger conferences and all that happen, that which run over 2 days 3 days, wherein you would want to announce the results at the end, which is fair. But in your case, in case if you want to go ahead and do that, you can. However, please be also wary of the fact that for your second contest
Yeah.
you might not have audiences. One. Second, why we recommend that you should not be announcing the results of one contest, or you should do both of them together at the end, is what if you have one contestant participating in both? So, and what if that one contestant is a winner, either in top three, is among the top three in the first contest? Now, if you will announce those results, it can have an impact onto or create a halo effect onto the judges for the next contest where the contestant will be participating. So that is why we say that if you have one contestant participating in both as well, please hold on to the results so that the judging doesn't get impacted at all.
Agreed, but uh, I'm not kind of debating and I don't question it that, but it happens that in after every 2 3 years, the Diwali festival become a major irritant. And on 20th October, there is Karwa Chauth also.
Oh
That
my
is all
God.
the more concerning because
No,
both
Hmm.
that
process
see,
can go
actually,
very nicely goes for a
Mr.
toss. Yeah.
You know what? This is all to be done when you are at the
Yeah.
DOTP. Understand at
Yeah.
the DOTP, this starts at the DOTP. So, I mean, there are other members here who don't.
Well,
Uh,
Bisa, we can probably take it offline with you because the
Right, right.
members
Thank
won't
you.
understand, right?
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry
Thank you.
if I bothered you, I'm really sorry, but
no,
it
no,
No,
was
it's
no, you
okay.
didn't. No, you didn't. Every question is valid, and I think it's good to ask as well. You have your own certain questions. It's perfectly fine. But if you need help, we can always talk.
oh, it was great. I was just listening to you. It was very fine. Many of the things that web cobwebs have been cleared. So kind of you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. We are almost 20 minutes top of our session entirely. I didn't expect, so many of you coming in numbers, listening, trying to clarify their doubts. It's really nice to actually help out our district members. And Vittal sir has finally, decided to be on camera as well. When I was just about to tell him, look at another old man who's here in the room, experienced, he turned off his camera. He knew I'm going to pull his leg. How are you, Vittal sir?
Yeah, very good, very good. Huh? I
All
am
right.
in St. Louis now for last 4 months.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
no
yes.
wonder.
I'll be coming back next month only. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. All right. Any further questions before I go ahead and I end the session since it's too late? I know it is Friday, but tomorrow is Saturday. Most of us just have to sleep probably. But any further questions you have? Go ahead, Vittal sir.
I just wanted to say that it's a very good recap session for me. Two things which I really learned this time is that what Arvind sir said, only, no, all the contestants can go to CJ and ask whether he is disqualified
Yes.
based on the time. This I didn't know. The
Even
second
I
thing
didn't
which I,
know.
yeah, second thing I didn't know was that the contestants, the chief judge only one on one, he can talk to the contestant regarding the originality.
Protest.
This
Yes.
also I didn't know. Super. Thank you very much, Arvind sir.
You're welcome. Any questions, anybody, any further clarifications, anything you want to add that we would have missed out? I think we didn't talk too much in detail about CCCJ because I think we have the scripts. Any which ways
yeah,
in the
the scripts are
conversation, we
there.
did speak about it, what the CJ should be doing. Sergeant at Arms, I think we all are aware about Sergeant at Arms, so I didn't want to dwell too much into that. It's a very
There
important
are
role.
scripts there also.
Yes.
So the contest chair would also tell them.
All right, I think we are good. We do have folks who are late who decided not to get on camera, but it's perfectly fine for us. Thank you so much, members from District 98 and across, if you are here, who attended the session today. Thank you so much for your 1 hour, 22 minutes to be precise, to be here, talking to us, trying to get your doubts clarified, taking all the nuggets of wisdoms from Arvind, myself and Sunita today. Sunita, thank you so much for dropping in as well. And Arvind, thank you so much for being there always. If you need any help, please feel free to get in touch. We will be there to help you out, to guide you. My only recommendation to all of you will be that do not feel scared of taking up a role. As Arvind said, you have
Yeah.
made, there is a Toastmasters promise. At least take that first step, okay? I know we don't know anything. That is how we also have been. Somebody taught me when I came into Toastmasters how to do a role. Trust me, my first time CJ was a disaster. I went into the room, it was a club level, and I just called out. I said, can all the voting judges please come out? And one of the senior Toastmasters was looking, he's like, what are you doing? I didn't know how to do a tally. I didn't know anything. But I learned over a period of time. So now that I have done this, because I never failed and I had everybody supporting me, we all are there. It's a big fraternity to support you. You just need to take that step. Whether it's timer, it's ballot counter, CC, CJ, whatever, you know where we are. We are always available. Please reach out and practice with us. Even if it is the script of a CC, please practice with us. CC means a contest chair. Just come and practice. We'll help you out. We want you to succeed. We want to create more leaders. And the only way we can create more leaders is when our own members step out of their own fear zone. I wouldn't say comfort zone, but fear zone, and are willing to take that risk to succeed. So every role will teach you something. So please ensure that you go back, you motivate yourself and your fellow Toastmasters, and ensure that you're taking up roles. The district needs you at this time. Your area directors, your division directors, your clubs needs you. And the only way you can do it is raise your hand and say, even if I don't know, I'm still ready to do it. Who can help me out to learn how to do it? That's the only way you can thrive in Toastmasters. So with this, I will now officially go ahead and stop
Please
the
remember to
recording.
read the speech contest
Rule
Rule
book,
book.
rule book.
rule
You
book, rule book,
must
rule
read
book.
the rule book,
At least
understand
once.
at least once. You read it and you'll know what all are going on and how it is to be done. Then it helps when you will understand better when somebody is trying to explain it.
Yes. Now I will officially stop the recording.